going on.
All right.
Man, you need more than 30 minutes.
Yeah, I need a whole day.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how it would have been for like RE Village, for instance, but like, yeah, something along those lines. Like,
Yeah.
talk up the point of like House Beneviento or whatever, and then the second part
Ooh.
would be talking about like the rest of the
Hmm.
game after that point.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, sure.
Goodness.
I was thinking also as far as like having like those kinds of spoiler casts, do we want to set it to have? Because I want to give you guys. I want to also give myself time for these games. Do we want to do these like 2 weeks after the game comes out?
Right. It doesn't have to be like
Right that
immediately.
week. Hmm.
Okay,
Um.
good, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives us time also to like sink our teeth deep enough where we can talk about it in that length. Granted, I feel like if I play an hour, I'll have a lot to talk about, but uh, yeah, that gives us time also to like, and gives people time to play it, and it's like end game. Like, all right, it's been 2 weeks, we're gonna talk
I
about
mean,
it.
Horizon comes out literally the Friday, and then the podcast is, that next day. So like, obviously, we wouldn't
Right.
be able to do that. But
No.
probably what I'm thinking is that like, um, we'll obviously have to talk about it in terms of like scheduling. But like, this is just like an example. Like, we would do a spoiler cast on like, I don't know, like a Friday night, for instance, and then the regular podcast, the next day, or something along those lines.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
All right.
We'll come up with a name later on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Macho, I'm gonna leave that to you. So let's see. You got that covered.
The name of for the
The
podcast,
name. Yeah,
For
you did
the
too.
the
for
spoiler
the
cast.
spoiler, yeah, it could be like a subsidiary of the DualShock and Sense umbrella, like
Yeah.
because what's their name? Like Min-Max, they call it game clubs, and then Easy Allies, for instance, they have spoiler modes, and that's basically podcasts dedicated to like spoiling the shit out of big movies or big games that come out.
All right, I won't come up with something lazy and obvious like party chat or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably taken.
I go right, and I like push my paper saying party chat under the table. Yeah, right. Yeah, who's coming up with that?
Yeah, like just slip the note under. What's your name you have for us? Slip the note. Party chat. I love it.
By the way, we are live. Mahmood, what's going on, man? We see you in the chat.
Yes,
What's going on,
sir.
bro? Yeah. Well, can you check sound while I go tweet everything out?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
The Dual Spoil and Sense podcast. I like that. That has a ring to it. I like it. Um, all
Ooh,
right.
Mahmood throwing those names already.
I know,
Good.
man.
Good ideas. Put in the bank.
Yes, sir. Mahmood, I'm sorry. We're not paying you. We're not compensating you for these ideas, man. So any any suggestion that you give us, man, is that's free labor. Um,
Free. We'll
no, we'll give
no,
him credit, but he's just not getting
we'll
paid
take all
for
the
it.
revenue.
Exactly. Um,
Pro bono.
yeah, man. Okay.
All right, I'm checking. Sound so far is good, and I heard when Macho was leaving for that bit, he sounded good. So sound sounds good, man.
All right, cool. Sounds good. We'll
Sound
see.
good.
We'll see how Dying Light does, man. Uh,
We'll see.
yeah, I shouldn't have
Yeah.
any problem. I mean, I have the game hasn't crashed on me yet. In 20 hours of playing, it hasn't crashed on me. So
Nice, nice. I haven't really had any games crash uh for a while out of the games I've been playing.
nice.
Yeah, I'm trying
Okay.
to play a bit more.
Yo,
Mm.
I gotta this thumbnail, man. Um, I I was man, my mind was going crazy with some of the names I was tossing around.
All
For
Yeah,
right. Are we
I
good?
I can tell.
yeah,
We good,
yeah,
yeah.
we're good. Um, yeah, man, I was throwing around some crazy stuff, man. With that name.
Yeah, you're wild.
Are we talking about your thumbnail?
Yeah.
And the title.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did that make you finally want to get a Switch, so?
Oh, well, Kirby, a swallowing mode in Kirby. Nah,
Mouthful
man.
mode?
Nah, man. I'm good.
I was like, he finally has his reason.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
That's,
That might
that's
be one of the reasons, but that's not the reason. Come on now.
one of the
Um,
reasons he says.
Guys, welcome back to the 48th episode of the DualShock and Sense podcast. A very important episode, man. This marks pretty much about 1 year since we've started the podcast. I want everyone to, gather hands, gather around the table like we're at Thanksgiving right now. And I want everyone to share what they're thankful for since starting the podcast. Go ahead, Walt. Go ahead, kick things off for us,
Yeah?
man. No, I'm kidding. Please don't do that, man.
Thanksgiving?
Please don't do that. Guys, we got a wonderful show planned for you guys. Like I just said, it is the 1 year anniversary of us doing this podcast, which is pretty crazy. We made it this far, which is pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to another year doing this with you guys. Honestly, it's been really fun. But yeah, let's get started with these
Likewise,
intros. We got Walt. How you feeling, man? What's going on?
Feeling good, feeling good. The manga maniac, not too heavy on the manga this week, but heavy on the anime and video games. I'm grateful that I actually am being more disciplined by picking my hours in video games and school and managing well. So a lot of gaming done this week, and can't wait to talk about it a bit more.
Nice. And we got Macho. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Yeah, I want to echo what you were saying. So, man, for sure, this year has been. I'd say like every podcast that we had, whether it's on the Saturday or when we started before on like what was it, a Thursday? Like
Yeah,
Thursday afternoons.
something weird like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a highlight of the week, man, for sure. It's been like a good decompressing, hangout, chill with friends kind of couple of hours, and I'd say it's absolutely something that I've always wanted. So, first of all, thank you for you guys, and thank you again for dealing with me for the past year and for the next year from the King of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic.
No, man. Yeah, God knows it's been tough, man.
Oh, that free advertisement square has been good, man.
Exactly, and I've only been slandered about Kingdom Hearts maybe like a handful of times, so I think we're making progress here.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to step it up this year, man.
But man, no, I'm doing good, man. Let me tell you, guys, I've been solely addicted to one game that we'll talk about. And this week was really for me like a catch-up week for a certain game because I've been playing Trails in the Sky. I've said before, that classic JRPG. It was like a really great story, but like and 13 Sentinels at the same time. It's supposed to be catch-up week for those because Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West is next week. But man, this one game that came out this past week is taking up all my time, and every time I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. I can't wait to talk about it. And that game is Sifu. So,
yes, sir.
I will eat my words and say like, yeah, those hits don't sound like wet blankets anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's to say.
I ate crow as soon as I purchased that game and I started here. I'm like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like these sounds.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm doing good.
Nice. Guys, if you enjoy the podcast, go ahead and like it, comment, subscribe. It all helps us out. So yeah, we're gonna get started talking about the games that we've been playing. So yeah, I'll kick things off. Similarly to Macho, one game has kind of taken up my mind share. It's not Sifu, but it's the game that's currently on screen, and that is Dying Light 2. I knew I was gonna be addicted to this game, and yeah, it absolutely came to light. I've played about a little over 20 hours now. I'm having a blast, man. It's a improved version of Dying Light, and that's really all that I needed. The verticality with this game versus Haran from the original game is absolutely like the jump in the verticality is absolutely insane. I just love the possibilities of how you can string together your parkour. That feeling sort of like Spider-Man, where like you can go long stretches of time without even touching the ground, and it just feels awesome. I love how like when you do string together like a series of parkour moves, Aiden, the main character, sort of reacts to it. Like he starts like talking to himself a little bit, like pumping himself up. The music starts to swell like it does in Spider-Man. And I don't know, it just all feels really good. I was having a little bit of trouble with it at the beginning, but I feel like I got a hang of it now. Um,
You mean the
but
parkour or just like the game in general?
the parkour,
Or him
yeah,
talking.
The
Oh,
parkour,
okay.
okay.
the part,
That was
yeah.
him like, shut up, Aiden.
No, the parkour, yeah, definitely. Because like there's certain times where like I don't know, you have to time like, okay, can I make this jump? How much do I actually have to press the jump button?
Yep.
Things like
Because you got
that,
a long jump and a short jump.
right? And sometimes you kind of miss some things, and yeah, I don't know. It was not tough to figure out at first, but you definitely had to like practice with it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just enjoying moving through this world, man. It's really fun. The nighttime stuff is I think even better than it was in the first game because I don't know about you, Walt, but I
Hmm.
barely engaged with the nighttime in the original game. Partly because I was, I get scared easily. I don't like that shit. So, anytime night came around, I just like really just went back to bed like immediately. Uh, like,
Get this over with.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I would force myself to stay out to find some semblance of like more adrenaline and more rush because I got to the point where I was I had the best weapons. I had the best skills already upgraded. I even had the so I think they carry over. So when you buy the following, it unlocks another set of skills that's like mastery skills, and I had unlocked I think nearly all of them. So going through nighttime, it felt like daytime. It wasn't even like challenging. So I would force myself to like get three, four, five volatiles like around me. I'm like, okay, now this is where now I'm gonna run towards the building and try and make this challenging. And it actually felt challenging, but yeah, here, oof,
Yeah,
it's
here
tough.
here
It's
there's
tough.
like there's more of an incentive to actually go out in the night than I feel like there was in the first game.
Absolutely.
There's specifically and what's going on, Level Up? Nice to see you in here, man. There's for instance these sort of like dens, right, where
Hmm.
they hold valuable loot. You can go in there during the day, but there's going to be more zombies in there versus the nighttime. All the zombies that are inside those little dens start to migrate and they leave and they start walking around the city. So you
Hmm.
take advantage of the nighttime and go in there when there's like less zombies within these dens. And if you go in there, you can, scavenge around, you can loot the valuables, things like that.
Hmm.
So that's just one incentive of like going out, during the night. Obviously there's the nighttime bonuses that you get, just from, exploring, doing parkour and fighting during the night as well. But yeah, I find myself really, which I didn't really do a lot in the first game, just exploring during the night. And, I think that's,
Yeah,
that's, that's really, really cool. So yeah,
for
I don't
sure.
know if that's oh my god. Well, I don't know if you've been finding yourself doing that as well.
Um, I've been finding myself being more thoughtful and more meticulous during nighttime and
Yeah,
daytime even.
for sure.
So with nighttime, you also have incentive. It's very apparent. So you see these buildings that are during the daytime they're filled with the infected, and then you see them like you mentioned, you see them walk out at night, and they have like great loot. Some of them have the upgrade points, the little devices,
Yeah.
uh,
That's
and
a good
that's pretty
point,
much
yeah. The GRE sort of like
the GR
stations or what mini I don't know
the
if you've run into
boxes.
like the mini bosses, right? They only come out at
Hmm.
night and once you defeat them, you have access to sort of like the like GRE containers or whatever. Like you can unlock them once you defeat them, and
Yeah,
that's things that you can only do at night as well.
exactly. And a lot of these, this one of the smaller buildings which have uh the sealed boxes that only Aiden has the key for. Uh, it's interesting because it balances out. You can either do it during the day where it's okay to be outside, but inside it's full. They're all asleep, but you have to be very stealthy.
Yeah.
And there's a timer uh, for when you get. I think that's when you get infected. And then at night, they're all outside, but mind you, you have to be quicker because once they find out, you're gonna have volatiles behind you. And not only that, one nice addition that keeps you on your toes is the screamers. I forget their name. I think there's like one every block, and if they
Uh,
see you, they're gonna call
the
all the zombies around.
right, the howlers or whatever.
The howlers, yeah, the howlers.
Yeah.
And those always keep me like I need to be aware of my surroundings. I can't just parkour like not like none of my, like nobody's business.
Right, right.
Uh, I
That's
have to be like, okay, don't jump there because he's gonna see me, and there's a volatile around, and I can't, and I have to be very careful.
that's a good point that you bring up the timer, right? Which I
Hmm.
don't
Hmm.
remember if that was the thing in the first game.
It wasn't.
Right. Okay. So, with this, you actually have a certain timer, that's essentially how long you can stay out during the nighttime. So it makes things even more tense, right? When you're exploring those sort of like zombie dens, and you only have 5 minutes to or even less than 5 minutes based on just how long you've been running around in the open world to actually explore, and it makes it way more tense because you can't just like sprint through these dens because there's sleeping zombies everywhere. So like you're sneaking around, you have to like all 24/7 be cognizant of your time remaining before you actually turn, right? You have to find sources of light to sort of refill your timer. So that's just like another like added wrinkle that makes everything just more tense, that makes nighttime in general more tense. And yeah, I really like
Absolutely.
that even like when you're fighting like the bosses, that makes the bosses even more tense when you have maybe like less than 2 minutes to do so, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really dig the additions that this game has made. Um, yeah, it feels
And it's ironic because this game, you have that sense of urgency at any given moment on you completing tasks and fighting zombies and getting loot. But the premise of the game doesn't necessarily need that urgency at the beginning. You're looking for a sister and whatever, but there's no timer saying if you don't find your sister, these like militia are going to invade or this is going to happen. While in the first one, halfway through the game, you get the news that there's going to be missiles raining down or a nuke raining down on Haran, but there's no sense of urgency. There's no timer. There's nothing really making you like
yeah,
want to go forward.
it's that classic open world sort of issue. Yeah, I to be
Hmm.
honest, I really don't care about that stuff because like I would rather explore the open world at my own leisure. But it's that classic open world problem. Like for instance, it's constantly like, oh, I have to find my son Sean. I have to find my son Sean. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, but let me go help out. Let me
This
do
village
these.
over here.
Right, yeah, let me do these side quests. Right, my son can
Hmm.
wait. You know what I mean? So it's yeah,
Right.
it's that constant thing with open worlds that like they don't really find that balance of like prioritizing the
Hmm.
mission versus you just being able to go out and do whatever you want. But at the same time, I would rather just be able to explore the world at my own leisure. I don't really mind about that stuff. But I see
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not asking for like a Majora's Mask situation with all my open games, open
Right,
world games,
right.
where there's literal timer in the open world, but more so where Cyberpunk had this problem where the premise was incredibly like you had to get through that, but the world at the same time didn't feel like was in constant shift and movement. And in Dying Light 2, contrary to Dying Light 1, you had the sense, for instance, the nuke. Oh, people are gonna die, but where's the people? There's no one around. There's barely any NPCs around. They're all in the safe zone. Over here, there's like little posts here and there. There's people on the streets dying from from bandits. There's like there's a lot of breathing around the world. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of moving parts, and that makes it feel like, okay, I have an objective. There's a purpose. Well, first Dying Light, I get it. It was the groundwork, which was a phenomenal game, but there was no. It was more about gameplay and the parkour more than it was about the world. If that makes any sense. And this one, it's both. It's a nice blend of both, I feel like.
How are you feeling about the story?
The story, interestingly enough, so for me, I'm enjoying it more than the first one from the get-go, just because I have from the start, there's more interesting characters than the first one did at the beginning. Not to say, we have like, memorable generation defining characters, but it serves as the driving force of Aiden and you getting through this world enough to where I appreciate it. And I appreciate what the motives and the reason why these people are here. I am enjoying it. It's not what's bringing me back to the game, but it is not deterring me from it. I think it's serviceable, but it's not. I don't think it's forgettable. For me, I don't think it's something that it's complete crap. I won't ever remember this. No, I might remember Hakon. Like Hakon is a quirky character that I am actually enjoying. I might just like I remember Jade from the first one. I might remember Hakon, and I like that even NPCs on the side when you interact with them, it like cuts to a little like cutscene between you and you like accommodates Aiden to talk with this person. There's like actual dialogue, so I feel like there's more personality, more substance to the story than the first one. By no means is it my favorite story out of the game. To be frank, I'm more invested, ironically, in the story of Sifu than I am in this one. But that's just of the way that it was portrayed. With Dying Light, I don't know, it didn't hit the markers that I want a story to hit for me to actually consider it, like groundbreaking or just super memorable.
I'm gonna
But I
say
like it.
I'm gonna say that I knew I was in trouble with this story when last night
Ooh.
I was talking to this girl. I think her name is like Sophie or something, and
Okay.
she has this bodyguard who's his name's Herman, and I came up to talk to her, and Herman was sitting behind her, and he stands up from his seat, kind of like walks behind her and like over her shoulder growls at me, and Sophie is like, "It's okay, Herman, calm down, calm down." I'm like, oh man, we're in trouble here, man, because it was just so awkward, man. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I didn't even do anything. Why are you? First of all, why are you growling at me? That's not even like a real like human, like
Reaction.
yeah. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's goofy. It's goofy at
It's
times.
it's goofy as
It's
hell, yeah.
yeah, but that's it. It doesn't take itself seriously. Like I don't feel like the game takes its story like super seriously.
Ooh,
Like
I would disagree. There's some people
really.
there's some people who absolutely do take themselves really seriously.
Yeah,
Oh,
is
okay.
that the charm? That's goofy. Is that the charm?
Nah.
Is that the charm? Is that the charm with you in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, when Mickey Mouse gets choked up against a wall.
Hey man, you like that. I know you kind of I know you
What,
kind
you
of felt
like
a
getting
tingle when
choked?
you saw that.
Hey yo,
You get tingle when you get choked?
hey yo.
Hey
But
man, you saw this wall, man. This man got defensive. He immediately pulled out the Kingdom Hearts card.
Hey,
Immediately
yo.
to bash
Reverse
Dying
Uno
Light 2
card.
story.
hey man, I'm not defending Dialytes. I'm the last person to be doing that.
I was
No,
about to
Um,
no.
say, I was like, you just got growled at.
You got ground that
um,
man. We
but
on S for stupid.
but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Dying Light in general.
Yeah.
I'm still really enjoying it. And I'm still just in the first area, so I'm excited to see. There's apparently a whole city that you unlock later on, so I'm excited to see that.
Mm.
I hope that there's I haven't been able to unlock it. I don't even know if it's like a thing in this game, but I hope that there's like ranged weapons in terms of like I really want a bow and arrow because that was like my weapon of choice in the first game. So I hope that that comes back because I really enjoyed that in the first game. But yeah, also really enjoying like the progression of the game
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like skills and parkour skills as well, right? Like you're like I'm just getting skills like being able to vault over certain or through certain gaps and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all works to sort of like chain together your parkour movement so you're never, slowing down or never having to like I don't know, readjust yourself in real time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. And mind you, the first one, the bar was low with the story, so just the fact that there's more going on, I'm like, okay. I appreciate that they're trying with different approaches to characters as wacky as it might come across, but it gives me more than just it's fun parkour.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for me with Dying Light 2. Really, really enjoying it. It's
Very
without a
nice.
doubt like alongside Elden Ring and Horizon, it's probably going to be up there as like the game that I spend the most time with this year. But Macho, why don't you
Yeah,
take things away?
yeah. Before I get into Sifu, I'll kind of delve into a little bit of 13 Sentinels. I'm almost done with that game. It says in the story in the fights, I'm like 70% done with everything. It really is pretty long. I'm actually rounding out to like 40 hours now in the game.
Solid.
And yeah, it's really good, man. The thing is, the story is definitely taking a lot of
Mm-hmm.
liberties. That's
Mm-hmm.
for sure. It's pretty complicated, but I think like once I start wrapping up everybody else's stories, then it'll start making more sense because literally just piecing together every bit and every moments you're going with through these 13 different characters. And some connect to more than others. So sometimes I would jump from one character and then to another, and then sometimes those two character stories wouldn't really intertwine. So
Mm-hmm.
it would make things a little more confusing. So I think it's probably like the way I'm playing it, where like I need to like play one character, and if there's like two other characters that appear in that one character story, then I should go to those two other characters. So I'm just getting through that, and it's still really fun and really like interesting. Like it's I think what's the developer wall? It's the Atlas and
Atlas and
Vanillaware.
mm-hmm. Yeah, they
Vanilla,
did
yeah.
did they do Odin Sphere?
Dragon's Crown, Odin Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah.
the other PS Vita game? I forgot what it's called, but
I know the one you mean. I have it in my
yeah,
mind.
right.
I love those games.
Yeah, yeah. So it's overall it's really good. I think they just did like a really masterful job of like making this really deep, complex story and just doing a fantastic job of like fleshing out these characters and
Mm.
kind of their motivations and kind of where they stand. And but we are getting a lot of this person was this person at first, but then they're actually this person now, and then this person transfers to this person's body. So like
Very
it's
anime.
yeah. Oh man, it's getting nutty. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very very nutty. It's kind of hard to keep track of, but regardless, it's a lot of fun. Highly recommended. The other one is Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky. I talked a little bit about this. It's like a classic JRPG. It's way more story heavy than anything else. It's a turn-based JRPG. So instead of having like kind of like Final Fantasy VII, you have your two opponents at the end of the screen, and you just select on like an active time battle system. You actually have a
Mm.
grid-based system where it is turn-based, but everybody has to kind of move around to the opponent or around you, and then that's where you attack and do your thing. So I've been kind of just blasting through that, just getting through the story. I'm like halfway done with it. I played it before and it's a lot of fun, but I kind of want to play the whole Trails and not Trails in the Sky. What was it? The Legend of Heroes series this year. So I'm actually
Mm.
getting through the first one again, and it's really good. I think the writing in this one is a lot better than I remembered. And this game came out on PSP like maybe early 2000s, and it's still really good. Like Estelle, who was like the one of the main characters you're playing as, she is a funky fiery beast, man. Like she has wits for days, man. Anytime someone comes at her, things like, "Oh, you're a girl. You can't be a warrior. You can't be a bracer," which is like their warrior, like they're kind of like their mercenaries in this world, or called bracers. So you can't be a bracer. She was like, "Oh yeah, well I will kick your ass right now." And then like and she'll go off, and then like her adopted brother Joshua is like, "Yo, just calm down, relax."
Chill.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of fun. And it's cool to kind of have like their coming of age story, or to like revisit their coming of age story, because the last time I played it was 2015 was the last time I saw my save on there. So yeah, it's a ton of fun, great stuff there. I'm hoping to finish those up before Horizon Forbidden West next week. But yeah, just kind of divulging in my guilty pleasures there for JRPGs. But man, the past week was Sifu, and let me tell you, this is probably one of the best games I've ever played.
Hey, yo.
Amen.
Hands down. Right now, I don't know if you guys have been following my Twitter, but I've been hyping this game up. I got the platinum for the game last night.
Damn, the platinum.
I got the platinum.
Damn.
I went full beast mode on Sifu.
0.05%.
Yeah, I'm the 0.5% gang right now. Yeah, I got the platinum on PS5 last night. I'm currently playing it right now to get the PS4 platinum. That's how much I like this game.
Nice.
So what really like kind of switched my gears on Sifu was one, the reviews when they came out. I actually listened to a couple of my most trusted reviews from online. So mostly Angry Centaur Gaming, ACG. He does really good in-depth reviews, especially when it comes to music and gameplay and stuff like that, and atmosphere. I love the way he talks about games. And basically what kind of like rounded out my thoughts on it was that this gameplay is a lot more complex and a lot more intricate than what it appears to be, which in my opinion the trailers didn't do a really good job of showing you how much this gameplay was really going to be like really complex. So once I saw the reviews, and I actually picked it up on Sunday on PC just to try it out, and I couldn't stop thinking about it afterwards, man. Like I played a couple hours and I was like, dude, I have to play this game. Like I have to play it now. Like I cannot stop thinking about it. I got to the club and I was like, dude, like what if I did this, that? What if I did this kind of combo? What if I entered it in this room first? Like what would happen? Like, oh my god, like I was completely enamored with it. So I picked it up on Tuesday, dived deep into it the past week, and I think it's amazing. The combat is like a fighting game. You have to approach it like a fighting game. You can't approach it like a regular hack and slash action game, or else you're gonna get mopped, 100%. You have to go in. You have to remember your combo attacks, which can vary from square, triangle to down, up, triangle, for different reasons. And every kind of move, like everything is thoughtful and intricate, and you have to go into the mindset of like, all right, I had to play mind games with my opponents because they're doing the same with me, and we had to kind of anticipate one another's reactions. So there is parrying, there is dodging, and there's also strafing. So dodging, you press R2, basically just gives you more distance from the enemy, but strafing, you hold L1 and then you press the directional buttons to actually just kind of dodge like incoming attacks, but it gives you a little more room to actually counter your opponents. So all that plays in to this really, really fun gameplay where every enemy is on top of their game and you just have to be 2 steps ahead of them like it's chess. So it's the gameplay itself is like awesome, and there's so much to dive into it. But beyond that, man, the music is amazing. The aesthetic is freaking gorgeous.
It looks absolutely incredible. The animation wise and the art style, yeah, it looks so good.
And there's so many themes with enemies and bosses and areas, and there's actual symbolism behind so many of the ways characters are portrayed. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I know you're farther into the game because we talked a little bit about it. But so you haven't touched the game at all, right?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting for the physical copy.
Okay, yeah. Then, man, I mean, I'm sure you saw some clips of like some areas of the first and second area. do what
Yeah,
you can to not see the rest of the game. It is a visual, just like, it's, oh my god, it's so amazing what they've done with the visuals for these bosses and just the areas in general, and how they just flip the lid on surprising you with every map. It's absolutely incredible. I think it's, like I said, it's really one of the best games I've ever played, and I'm completely surprised by it. Like, if not game of the year, I don't think it's gonna win game of the year personally, but at least be in the mentions for indie game of the year or best visual direction or something, because it's phenomenal.
yeah. The way that people are talking about it, I feel like it absolutely should be in the running for that. But yeah, that sounds incredible, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to get into it. Yeah, it's purely just because of like it just reminds me the premise, some of the shots that I've seen, it just reminds me of like Kill Bill.
Hmm.
It looked like it had a scene ripped directly from Old Boy.
Yeah.
And I'm totally into that shit, man. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into this game when it does become
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be a fiend for it, man. It's fantastic. But like, I would say one of the things that makes it even more stand out from it being like a somewhat roguelike game, progression is a little not tough to figure out. It's just you have to really mess around with it. But the entire like gimmick of this game is obviously that you die, you come back, and then you
yeah.
age.
Talk to me about that.
Right, yeah. So the thing about that is, so whenever you age 10 years, that's when you get the damage buff, but your health is reduced. So with that said, the way you age is obviously you die, and then it adds to your death counter. And the more you die, the more your death counter goes up, obviously, and then the more you age. So say that, I'm at age 23, I die three times, I die a fourth, now I'm at age 27.
Okay.
So that's how that works. And though you could
Hmm.
actually reset your death counter through some rewards and bonuses, or by beating mini bosses in the stage. So it's a lot of strategically planning out, if you're going to die, where you're going to die, and how you're going to pick it back up, or to reduce your death counter, so that when you die again, you don't age that far. So the thing about that too, man, what's really cool is not just an aesthetic, right? It's not just like a gimmick or like kind of like one of the game's like cool things. Like, it actually matters on your character. You have to play differently when you're older, for more or less.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So when you're younger, obviously you're more agile, you're a lot quicker, right? So you can strafe a little faster, you can actually dodge roll, you can actually roll a little faster. But when you're older, you can't do that shit. So you really have to like look at enemies and see when you have to like block them and counter them. Or if you're gonna do a quick strafe, you gotta make sure you do it like a little earlier. So like there's a lot of intricacy when it comes to not just the gameplay and not just the death counters, but like actually when your character gets older, which is really cool. So if you want to get older and you want to kind of have that challenge and kind of have like the master going at out all these crazy people, right? You can do that. You can have that kind of fantasy in your head, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's sick. That it's not just purely like a aesthetic or appearance change. It actually has like gameplay ramifications. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so sick. But I want to hear Walt talk about, because I know I've been going on here. I could talk about this game all day, but I want to
And
see
I mean,
what
and you
Walt
beat
has to
it, so
say.
you've seen more of the things that I've already seen on the surface level, and I really have to. I want to double down on the aesthetic and on the visuals. This game, the bosses are set pieces. These are just a visual, just phenomenons. I'm not gonna go into that because it'll spoil the. A lot of it comes down to you fighting the boss and you experiencing that for the first time. But if you saw, did you get to see part of the first boss, Soul?
Uh, I don't know who's the first boss or the second boss or
Okay,
whoever.
try to like avoid like even context, because every enemy, the fighting style fits their title. So I'm not gonna no, no, I'm not gonna get to that. What I really want to hammer down on is how this game is making me feel in terms of as a video gamer and as like being able to practice certain movesets. I've never been a fighting game guy. I do not like fighting games. Not because they're fighting games, but because of what they turn me into. I become way too impatient.
I really understand that.
I become way too frustrated. I get heated to the point where, like, you'll hear me verbally, if I'm alone in my room, you'll hear me like, oh no, yeah, no, yeah, that's just fantastic. That's just fantastic. Oh yeah, no, of course. And I'll just put my controller on the side and like start thinking, why didn't I play this game? And I'll start questioning things. But this is the first game that's actually made me want to take a deep breath, learn the moves, practice, learn the patterns, and become a better kung fu master and become a better player. And this game will humble you. This game will humble you. It's not a hack and slash like Macho said. You try and throw hands without thinking. You will not think at all at the end of that fight because you will be down quick, very quick. Even at the first boss, if you got through, I'm on the third. There's 5 areas. I'm on the third area. I can beat the third area. If I want to go to the first one because I want to grind a little bit for experience and permanently unlock certain skill points, because essentially when you go through a run, let's say you beat the first level, you have enough experience to unlock a skill, but it's only temporary. In order to unlock that skill permanently, you have to spend what you spent initially for that skill 5 times. So if you spend 500 XP for the skill point to have it for that run, in order to permanently unlock throughout all your runs and for the whole game, you have to spend 500 times 5.
Yeah, so like 2,500 XP.
So 2,500 points. So essentially what I do sometimes, I'll just go to the first level, I'll go through it because I learned it really well already, and I'll get some experience points and I'll dump it on a point to help me more later on. If you think you can become confident enough where you can beat the third level, go back to the first one and breeze through it, think about it. Because that's not going to be it. If you mess up once, if you had 3 enemies around you and you forget to get into the flow of the fight, you're going to get knocked out. It's a game that even though you go to the first level, the difficulty will still be there in certain areas, even with the boss. Mind you, Macho already got to that point where you see certain things in the gameplay that no matter what, you're going to come out winning with the movesets. The story, while very simple, I think it's so effective. It puts me into that anime fantasy of I've been, I was betrayed, I was wronged. Now I spent all these years training to accept my vengeance, and that is like you mentioned, Kill Bill, but that's not such a like an anime trope where it's they wronged me, now I'm seeking vengeance, and it feels so badass because your character legitimately feels like they're angry, like the way they fight. There's a grace, but there's such an anger to the way that they fight. And, I mean, I picked a female character, which is so badass, and the dialogue and just the idea. Now it's more Kill Bill.
Yeah, that's the thing about cliches, man. Like they're not inherently bad. It's what you do with them that can make them interesting.
Exactly. And it's happening with so many anime. But in regards to how the game presents just each level has so much personality. The themes are so there. The first one is very ingrained by nature. It's a warehouse that was taken over by nature, and you see these people that live there.
Hey man, don't spoil, man.
No. This is more so of the area. This is more so how the area is abandoned. The area is abandoned. It's not a metropolis. It's not an urban area. The second one, you see more of why it is the way it is and why it progresses to be. The levels evolve. It's a phenomenal set piece. Each level is such a phenomenal set piece. What frustrates me so much is my stubbornness. This has been a personal journey that I'm gonna remember all year. This is a Game of the Year contender. I don't know if it'll win, either objectively or in my eyes, because there's still so many good heavy hitters coming out this year. But this is a game that has transformed my perspective of fighting games and what it means to be disciplined and in just learning a moveset and learning to be better at something. It's been transformational. Uh, I'm halfway through the game, I think, and Macho already teased me with like something that he figured out that I want to talk to him more about, but I'm stubborn enough to where I want to figure out on my own, and my pride won't allow me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I hope to finish this game by next podcast. I'll finish it.
Yeah, you can definitely do it. You can definitely do it.
But to platinum it, I need a bit more patience. I already did the first level on 20. I'm struggling with the second one. I cannot imagine the other three. So I can't wait to get through it more. I want to platinum this game. It feels like it's my duty. I need to do this for me. I need to complete this game. It is incredible. So you have to try it. So when the physical comes out, you have to talk to us about your just experience with this incredible work of art.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
yeah, I definitely will. That's awesome to hear, man. I'm glad that this game hit. 'Cause yeah, it's so cool, man. And you know, with this Kana and Solar Ash, man, I feel like Sony has been on a roll with like the indie titles that it's been choosing to sort of back and support. So Shuei doing the Lord's work over there, man.
Seriously, yeah. I think the game just announced too that they sold 500,000
Already, yeah,
copies.
yeah, already. That's crazy. But yeah, man, that's Sifu. I personally can't wait to get into it. But Walt, that's been also the major game that you've been playing this week, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
More Arceus, of course, and I downloaded. I heard Mr. Babbitt talk about it when he was here last podcast, and I think it was he mentioned Kyle reviewed it, but Ollie Ollie
Ollie
World,
World, yeah.
yeah, I downloaded that game, and it's been an interesting contrast of getting my wanting to bash my head against the wall with Sifu and just relaxing with Ollie Ollie World. It's been a nice balance. It's a very laid back. He's it's what do you call the games when they move towards the side and you can't stop? I forget the name
Side
for that.
scrollers or
No,
runners?
runners. Yes. So it's a skater. So it's a runner. You're skating. There's lo-fi music on the back. You can do tricks. You have high scores to beat. You have challenges. You can customize your character. It's a very how Babbitt said last podcast. It's very Adventure Time style of art style. Um, it's very nice. It's a very nice experience, very laid back, and I really needed it throughout this whole week after I would finish a run in Sifu, just to be able to sleep because I was just my adrenaline was pumping so much. Yeah, man, very nice game, very relaxing, and it's lo-fi, man. Whatever game has a lo-fi heavy soundtrack, I'm gonna vibe to it. Very good game.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Um, all right, man. It's been the games that we've been playing this week. So let's get into some of these topics. Again, we want thank everyone who's watching, man. Really appreciate the support as we try to get to our next milestone of 100 subscribers, man. We're almost there, almost there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, let's get started with these topics. A couple pretty big things happened this week, including a Nintendo Direct. And I wanted to get everyone's sort of thoughts. Did first of all, did you guys get to watch it or what happened?
Yeah, I definitely got to watch it for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What did
Walt
you
called me
guys?
that night and was like, Macho!
My, yo, I that was phenomenal. I loved that's been one of the better directs that I've seen in a while, and not just because I'm a JRPG fan, but definitely because I'm a JRPG fan. And there was a lot of JRPG goodness in that direct. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
people are
there
calling it
were.
a Square Enix direct, which I don't blame them. But hey, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I called it more than Nostalgia Direct, but
nostalgia direct, yeah, retro direct. So
retro. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
man,
So yeah, go ahead and tell me what was some of your guys' biggest highlights. Cause I
Macho, what was your highlight?
Um, It's a tough one.
Yeah, and we didn't really talk about the real highlights that night.
Because obviously, I'm a Shinra fan,
Hmm.
so um, having Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers there was actually pretty big. Because I played Chrono Cross through backwards compatible on the Vita, and I just wasn't feeling it. But I did say if there was like a remaster, if Square did send out like a update for it, then yeah, I will retry and see what really makes this game tick with everybody that I didn't see the first time. But I think that one of the biggest things that really caught my eye was the game that was like Octopath Traveler, but people were saying was better than Octopath Traveler, which is good for me because I wasn't big on that game. Was Live a Live, which is
Live Alive.
or is it Live Alive? Or I hear people say Live a
I,
Live, and I'm like, I don't know how to
I,
pronounce it.
I think I heard the announcer say Live Alive. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with it. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, yeah. So Live Alive, either way, what it is, just it's like essentially like the theme or like the general like overview of what Octopath Travelers, which was 8 different travelers or 8 different heroes that you can play as. But in this game, it's the same thing where you have multiple different characters, but instead of them being like in the same world per se, I guess, as you have more of these characters in different timelines.
Hmm.
So you have like the spaghetti
Literally.
western, you have the far distant future, you have the near future, you have the shinobi, and like a hit and
Prehistory.
past. Yeah, exact prehistory. So there's a lot more to this game where people were saying that when these characters actually come together, it actually is good, not like Octopath Traveler, where it seemed or it was very hollow, which definitely demotivated me to stop playing it. So yeah, I think that was one of the games that kind of really caught my eye, and then yeah,
Absolutely.
I say Chrono Cross. Yeah, I think that's
I
it really.
I'd say that those two were the standouts because Live Alive. I think it only came out in Japan. It was never localized. It never even touched outside of Japan, and people only knew about it if they imported it or something. But it it's funny how the game takes place across timelines, and they mentioned that there's 7 timelines, and I think there's that 8th chapter where it all comes together. It's ironic how different timelines it'll become cohesive, and then Octopath, everyone's in the same world, yet it does one story doesn't have to do anything with the other. You know, it's
Bro.
interesting. The contrast is interesting. Which, mind you, Octopath, knowing that it's a great game outside of that. The gameplay, the visuals, the individual stories are interesting. Some are better than the others. With Live Alive, if it all comes together, if there's a purpose at the end, I assume all 7 of them will be at some capacity interesting and engaging. Uh, and I think there's like different mechanics that are applied on different areas. So like there's a shinobi character, which takes place in like feudal Japan or like very, very, very far back that it's more melee focused, but then in the Wild West, there's like more gunplay, which is interesting. So I can't wait to see that. Some of the surprises from that direct, a big surprise was Mario Strikers. Mario, Mario Strikers, Super Mario Strikers Charged was one of those games for the Wii that felt like a fever dream. Like, did this really happen? Is this an actual game that exists that they developed? So high octane. So the characters had so much personality. The art was phenomenal. The cel shade almost, and it just stopped existing. Nintendo released a couple of sports games that were not even close to the same engagement or gameplay level to that one. There was like a soccer game. There was a few baseball games. They just stopped making these standalone, just very like ambitious sports Mario sports games. Uh, the closest one that I could think about that I actually enjoyed was Mario Tennis, and it wasn't even the better of all the ones that they've released. But I got surprised by Mario Striker. What was it? Battle League. Um, that one I'm looking forward to. Xenoblade 3. It
Yeah, that
did.
was that was the other one I actually forgot. I was looking at the list. I was like, oh wait, that was announced.
Yeah, that one. It's interesting because I wasn't. I wasn't shocked because it's some way I was like, it feels like it should have happened. it should have like it was already due like a third game or something, because I felt like after Xenoblade 2 they did that big standalone DLC or standalone game, but it wasn't the next step. You know, it wasn't the next game, and
How did you guys feel about what's his name? Fire Emblem.
Warriors.
Three, yeah, Warriors Three Hopes.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jane had a really good tweet for that one.
yeah. I don't know what meme. I hope you guys know what meme I'm talking about, but it's like that one face where it's like it's happy. Like you see Fire Emblem characters pop up, and then the face gets disappointed when it sees it's a Warriors Muso game. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that was like a lot of people's reaction to that. Expecting like a full fledged sequel to Three Houses. Well, I guess it kind of is, but in that traditional Fire Emblem gameplay. So that
Yeah,
was funny. That was funny.
Right.
that trailer was definitely around that game. I saw the dip, man. I saw the dip in frame rate in that trailer.
So,
Muso games
It's
always
funny.
do that in these case showcases.
yeah.
It was really funny to see like all of like the enemies do one attack at the exact same time. They got swept up by the character.
Classic Muso style.
But yeah, for me, it's already kind of talked about it, but yeah, it's definitely Strikers Battle League.
Hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely adore
Yeah,
it.
is that the one that's gonna make you get a Switch?
Maybe, man.
Hey, yo, yo.
Oh, look at that.
Let's
If
get on it.
if I
Get
can
on that
find
gameplay so we can smoke your ass.
if I can find one on the black market, then yeah, I can definitely I can
You
convince
can definitely
myself to
find one
do it.
there.
Yeah, but yeah, Strikers has a place near and dear to my heart, man. I have fond memories of playing that game with friends and his. This sounds so bad, but my friend had like a little Anne Frank attic in his house,
Oh.
and we would all get cramped up there and
Come on, man. It's been a year of the podcast. I don't want to end it now, man. I don't want to cancel
don't
now.
worry, man, don't worry. But yeah, we would all get cramped up there and play that game, and it was a lot of fun. And then when I got a Wii, Charged was one of the first games that I played or that I got for it. And yeah, I just have really good memories of both of those games, and yeah, it's really interesting to see that they're like really emphasizing like gear and
Hmm.
improving, like character speed and strength and passing ability and things like that. Um, so it's gonna be weird that like characters won't be necessarily like you don't choose Luigi for his speed or you don't choose Bowser for his strength, right? Because theoretically, if you just get like a good helmet and a good chest piece, everyone can be good at you know strength or speed or what I'm saying. Like I
Right.
don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, some of them definitely have, like their special abilities that make them stand
Right,
out. Like
right.
Yoshi with the egg that you can control from side to side, or like Bowser becoming like the shell and going from. So I like that they're keeping that distinct personality in each of them, because I feel like the last soccer game that we had, it was just kind of whatever. Like it didn't really matter who you chose, but it did. But Rosalina is Rosalina, Waluigi is Waluigi. Like they are the character, and you can see their personality come through. And I'm excited to see their super moves in action. It was
We
pretty
actually
cool.
get to see Rosalina touch the ground. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's been a while.
I'm just kidding.
Those legs are not working, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh, shit.
it'd be fun. No, no, wait. In Mario Kart, she's saying down Mario Kart. I'm like thinking, wait, is she ever touched the ground?
In her life.
Oh, that's another thing. Hey, why Mario Kart 9 when you can have Mario Kart 8 on steroids? And when you have 48 new courses.
That's basically a new game, man.
That's a new game through and through. And let me tell you, at this point, a Mario Kart 9, I don't think it's necessary unless they're doing something revolutionary with like a new mechanics and whatnot. But like, you have gliding, you have underwater levels, you have normal underground, and you have stages from across I think all Mario Karts. I mean, and the deal, it's included in the Switch Online package with the N64 and all that. So like, they're incentivizing it. The deal is looking better than it did a week before. It's still a bit of a steep price, but
Yeah,
there's more value to it.
what's going on with this? Because I couldn't get a good read if people were mad or happy
I think
about
people
this.
are like super lukewarm on the fact that
I agree.
that one that it's basically like a 2-year DLC plan with all
Yeah.
these courses, and it's apparently it's $25 for like all 8 or all 6 waves, excuse me, of
Yeah.
these DLCs, and there's 48 courses, but and that's cool because a lot of them are kind of like remasters or like being remade for Mario Kart 8. But
Oh,
at the
that's
same
cool.
time, people were like, it's like that's cool, right? That's awesome. But the thing is, people are like, wait, another 2 years DLC? So you're telling me we're not gonna get like a new Mario Kart for like another 3 or 4 years when this thing has been out since like what? Well, like
It's
2013 or something like that.
and since 2013, it's still been, I think, Nintendo's highest selling game. It's still like
Yeah.
up there. It's
What
still their highest selling.
is dare I say is Mario Kart 8 games as a service?
Yes.
Hey
Yes.
man, they
Hundred
steadily did it.
percent.
They
I
were
was
like,
I was
hey,
legit. I was legit thinking that like their next Mario game is or Mario Kart game is not going to be 9, but Mario Kart like I don't know,
just this
Forever
one,
Racetrack or some bullshit name.
ultimate.
Yeah. So like it's going to be the ultimate live service Mario Kart, but like yeah, Mario Kart 8 is definitely setting the blueprint for that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, like I if they do another like complete new entry into Mario Kart, it's not gonna be now like you mentioned. I definitely see like a spin-off or like a more gimmick forward like Double Dash, like something that has a completely new mechanic. Or they bring back Double Dash in a more new coding. But with Mario Kart 8, they don't need to bring that Mario Kart 9. They really don't. Their highest selling, now they're going to have people buying these 48 courses with that $25. They're going to have more people chiming in on the Nintendo Online package. Why would they do a 9? You know? It wouldn't make sense.
Because
People are
it'll
still
be cool. I don't know.
it'd be cool. Yeah, I know it'd be cool,
Uh,
but cool doesn't,
yeah,
this
I
brings
know.
it's going to bring money. Uh, I'd prefer a 9 and at some point just to there's a it hits different when there's a new entry into a franchise. It hits different, you know. The Mario Kart 9. Ooh, who's gonna be the mascot? Mario, of course. But who's gonna be the newer character? Ooh, are they gonna bring in what's her name? From Fire Emblem, the one with from the Black Bulls or the Red Bulls. What's the Idol Guard, or they're
You're
gonna bring
asking the
in the
wrong person.
Yeah, man. Yeah, seriously.
they're gonna bring in Fire Emblem characters. They're gonna bring in
Yeah, and like I
Snake.
mean that's what I was thinking for like if they're gonna do Mario Kart 9 and they're gonna make it like completely, you know,
Smash.
differentiated. Yeah, they're gonna go the Smash route where they're gonna have a whole bunch of guest characters.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be cool.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. They have Link already. They have Splatoon. What's his name? Squitling. Uh, put in more
Yeah, Animal
Nintendo. Or put
Crossing, you have Animal
yeah,
Crossing stuff too.
got Animal Crossing. Put Samus in there.
Yeah,
You know, put
yeah.
Captain Falcon or F Zero is dead.
I'm surprised they haven't really done that already. That sounds like a no-brainer, honestly.
It does. Maybe that's why they're keeping it in their back. But there's a lot of no-brainers with Nintendo, but they just keep it in the back pocket. Like I don't know, man. I'll do it if I feel like it.
And
You
still
know.
make bank.
Yeah, of course, they always will, man. When they don't, that's when you need to think about, okay, what did they actually do? But even then, it's a Disney thing, man. When you're that kind of a brand, you're gonna sell loads. But yeah, man. Out of that direct, that was surprising. That's pretty cool. Uh, I'm even more.
Yeah, I need to play the prologue for that
Yeah, same here, man. I
just to
think
check it out.
it goes up to chapter 3, and then you can carry over your save data. Uh,
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I honestly yeah, but yeah, that I'll need to try that out. But yeah, I think probably the biggest highlight for me, now I'm thinking about it, yeah, it's probably Xenoblade 3.
Mm.
I love the Xenoblade games. So like for me to see a third one and see like yeah, it's actually gonna connect the first two, while being different, kind of like how Xenoblade 2 was. I think that's really cool. And the way they, and I think that was a show ender too, which like to me, I think that's a big indication that yeah, Nintendo really takes this series, pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And that Monolith Soft is a freaking beast, man. They pump out open world games like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
no, pretty much. You're a fan of Xenoblade, you like that, like those Pokemon-esque approach in Xenoblade 3, that bunny girl and all those weird characters?
It's absolutely the weeb game, 100%. It's not as weeb as Disgaea, but it's definitely up there. But I mean, I think to be honest, the character designs look a lot better than Xenoblade 2, so I'm not complaining.
I would agree.
Yeah, right. Like you don't have like these dumb looking armor plates on Rex or the thongs.
Children wearing armor that is like twice their size.
Yeah, exactly. Or the thongs that Pyra has and everything. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, you
Weird
didn't like
character
that?
designs. I didn't say that. I just said it was weird.
Oh, okay. Hey, yo.
It's I think the designs in Xenoblade 3 are like a lot better. They just look way more grounded and it looks
More mature.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing, what I like about it the most is not too anime, because that was kind of my problem with Xenoblade 2. Because Xenoblade 1 was very like anime, but like it's a little more grounded in like not reality, but like in its art style, it's a lot more mature in its character design art style. Xenoblade 2 went straight like anime. Yeah, it went straight like comedy, romantic comedy anime, which I was like, all right, whatever. The third one it seemed like a blend of the two, where it has more refined graphics, quote unquote, but it has the mature art style of Xenoblade 1, which I'm digging.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know if Soul, did you see Weapon Wheel podcast this past Sunday?
Nah, I didn't.
Where Blandrew was like saying like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was probably one of the best looking games visually he's ever seen in his life. And I was like, oh my god. Yeah, so this guy is like a really big Nintendo fan, and you know, kudos to him. He stands his ground. But yeah, he says Xenoblade 3 is one of the best games he's ever seen in his life. I was just like, okay.
Okay.
But yeah. Other than that, I think so. One of the games that you want to talk about the most.
I don't want to talk about
Hey,
it.
yo.
I don't know. I saw you getting pretty wild on the timeline with that one, homie.
Oh man.
Mouthful mode.
Ooh, wee.
Listen. All I really have to say about it is that Nintendo really got Kirby's throat working overtime, man. Like that was crazy, man. Only Nintendo can think of that, man.
Oh my god.
But no, it's just pretty funny to me.
It's absolutely hilarious, dude. Oh my god.
I never would have imagined Nibel on Twitter calling it the throat, or saying the words throat goat. I never would have imagined that.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a song for that?
Yeah, I never would have imagined him saying that. But yeah, man, it's just been purely funny to see the memes that's been coming out from it. Like the Ed and Eddie one where where Ed is like literally like swallowing up his entire bed, but it's like Kirby now doing it. Just stuff like that is hilarious.
I saw one use a sort of plug to put Kirby on.
Oh man.
Yeah, the cone shape, they put it, they placed it instead of on a butt plug. On a butt plug.
Boy. Yeah, it's just funny, man.
Yeah.
But hey,
I wonder where they came. Like someone knew what they were doing when they made up the name of that mode.
I mean,
So like
what would you call it, Macho?
But my man, you have devs like in a round table thinking of like what to call this thing.
This is why I respect Nintendo, because they're just in a boardroom. They're just like, I don't give a fuck. Like let's just call it mouthful mode. You know. I feel like
I see it as like a translation thing. I
Probably.
don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm sure.
But like I feel like both Microsoft and so like they're more aware of these things. Like I feel like they would be much more reserved of something if they were put in a situation like this. Like I don't know, they would probably call it some boring ass shit like I don't know, like eat everything mode or something like that. But like
Nah, man. Our
Nintendo's
minds are
just
just
like
in the
we
gutter,
don't care.
man. Our minds are in the gutter. Twitter is toxic. We're being too nerdy, man. That's the thing. Mouthful mode, it's a completely vanilla term. If you tell
Nah.
a middle
Stop it,
schooler,
Wall. Stop it, Wall. This is your Nintendo bias. Come on, coming out right now. Come on,
I gotta
dude.
push back. I gotta push back on that.
Come
listen,
on, dude. They legit call it mouthful mode. Are you okay with that?
am I okay? I mean, why am I even questioning the fact that my man is using his mouth to throw the
Uh-huh.
car?
Uh-huh.
Am I okay with the name? Am I okay with this man just choking? That's my
My-
thing. How is
I
Kirby
Listen,
mean,
still breathing?
Kirby's been throwing things since the 2000s, man. So it's no surprise there. You know,
You know what's funny? It's not so much the name, but the idea of because there's levels that he's like flying and like a paper plane. And I'm like, but he's already been doing that with other abilities. Like, what prompted? Was this just the gimmick to like, oh, it's just something wacky? This is definitely gonna get people talking. It has us talking about
no,
it.
they knew what they were doing because the next day the Europe Nintendo account showed up a picture of Kirby down in that car.
Yes, sir.
So, and
And
I made a
Macho.
nice I made a nice Valentine's Day car after that.
You cannot deny the fact that that image of him down in that car makes you think about it. Like, what is going on? What is this? It'll make you look for that Miss Kirby game.
I
Like,
just love Mr. Babbitt's tweet about it. It's like, man, I should give her a call.
that's all I'm saying, man. I got the this was one of the names I was thinking of putting on the thumbnail. I was like the Kirby the Gok Gok 3000 special mode or something like that. Something along those lines. But yeah, man. Hey, man. Shout out to Kirby. He's doing the Lord's work. Close to Valentine's Day too, man. So yeah, Nintendo knew what they were doing.
yeah, I'm looking for like mouthful in Japanese. It's hitokuchi.
You're not, yeah. I was about to say you're not gonna find it. They probably say in the Japanese like dialect like mouthful mold or
Like a
something like that.
mouthful, like something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Now, mind you, a few shout-outs from the direct. The Metroid Dread update. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
You
the
got
boss rush mode. Yeah, that'd
got
be
the
cool.
boss rush, got the rookie mode, and got the one hit and you're out mode.
Yeah, no one's gonna do that.
Oh, I'm gonna watch speed runs of that, and that's gonna be incredible. They got that Wii Sports games. Hey, Wii Sports is back.
Yeah,
with
they
me-
had like what 6 games in there.
like 6 games, and then they're doing an update with golf later on.
Okay, I hope they keep doing those updates because 6 games is not enough for that.
No, man, give me boxing, give me track and field, give me all of these classics from Wii Sports. The Mii's are looking nice. They're looking updated. They're looking different.
Yeah, it was cringe just watch them play volleyball, but yeah, I agree.
Yes, yes. But Nintendo always has to do that live, just cringe fest.
Yeah, no, that was straight up from like early 2000.
People still asking for Mother 3, but no Mother 3, but we do get Mother and Earthbound on Nintendo Switch Online. That's pretty cool. We got the Mario Portal 1 and 2. A lot of people haven't played that game. I saw a lot of people think about saying on when reacting to the direct saying, "Oh, I never tried Portal." Like a lot of people never tried Portal. I hope that this is their introduction to that very, very great franchise.
The Wii version of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was confused as to why people were excited about that.
Yeah, me too. I think because people saw Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, was like, "Oh wow!" And then I looked at the game, I was like, "That's not the 360 PS3 version."
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, oh, "Wow, they actually grabbed the Wii version of the game."
And funny
releasing
enough, that's the
that.
version I played.
Wow.
Oh man, you got the really scaled down version. That's like playing the PSP version of any game.
Yeah, I played that one.
It's like playing Dead Space Extraction, except besides Dead Space. Like
I played Extraction as well on the Wii, man.
my man was like, "Can I get Resident Evil?" No, but you can get this Wii version.
Hey, man, I was,
Did you play Resident Evil 4 on the Wii?
Actually, yes, I did.
Oh wow!
Wow. Okay.
That's
There you
Wow!
go.
that's
Yeah.
the only version I've played of RE4.
See,
Yeah,
I heard
man.
that was actually a really good version, though. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I mean, then again, I was like, I don't know, like 14 when I played it. So,
But a lot has a lot changed now. I'm kidding.
oh man, what are you trying to say, man? What's going on here?
No, but man, gotta be real. The direct was pretty solid. I think it was a solid direct. Got some Samus, got some Mario, got some Kirby. Hey man, all we needed was Zelda, but they're working on that.
No,
They're
yeah,
working
you're
on
not gonna see that's like the middle of the year at least.
Yeah, and they
it. Like
said
next year.
they said that this was focused on games coming out in, the first half of the year anyway. So I
And
was
I don't
definitely
trust
not.
anything they say. As much as it shows like, oh, I have a bias, I clown on them, and they're pretty tone deaf with a lot of things.
I mean, to be fair, too, Xenoblade was the anomaly there because that's coming out September, and I did not expect that at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then
That
I
was
lot
like
of
the
people.
only game that's releasing after July, which is like what they had in their direct. Every game that's releasing there was releasing in July or earlier.
gotcha.
Gotcha. But yeah, man,
Mostly April, actually.
it was a solid direct. I'm gonna buy probably like 80% of the games that were showed. Honestly, a
I
lot of
mean,
them look fun.
if you finish Elden Ring Horizon before then,
Hey, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when I'm on the go, I have to go somewhere. I bring my Switch with me. If I'm traveling or something, I'm gonna be downing some cars.
whoa.
Yo,
Jesus Christ, man.
I
Anyway,
love those reactions.
let's move on from all this talk about swallowing and yeah, let's move on.
He's
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, man, I agree. I didn't watch it, but I did check out like the highlights and stuff like that, and yeah, it seemed like there were some really really cool announcements. Um, but yeah, let's move on. And then that also kind of I saw I saw some people on the timeline being like, oh, Xbox should have their own direct style
Yeah, you
thing.
saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Um, anyway, we won't get into that. But yeah, I just found it interesting. But yeah, so that was great to see. Yeah, so next let's talk about speaking of Microsoft. It was announced. Macho, can you actually grab the quote of that? I don't know, that business guy or whatever doing that interview, talking about Call of Duty or remaining multi-platform.
Yeah, let me bring it up.
Okay.
Dance, monkeys, dance.
Yeah, I got you. So essentially, Microsoft we had Phil come out when this deal was announced, maybe a couple days after, saying that he spoke to leaders at Sony and basically confirming or expressing that they have a desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for the foreseeable future.
All right, I got the quote if you're good.
Okay. And then, aside from that, it was still kind of left rather ambiguous, if they were going to do it or not. Or how far, the remaining contracts and agreements were. But it seems like we may have an answer that Call of Duty may not be going anywhere in general. So, yeah, Macho, take it away.
Yeah, so directly from the quote here on, thanks to The Verge for providing that. To be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have committed to Sony that we'll also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement, keyword, beyond the existing agreement, and into the future so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. And then they also mentioned something about Nintendo Switch, but it's not in that quote there.
Yeah, that they have
taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform.
exactly. So yeah, they not only want to do PlayStation, but also want to bring some of these games to the Switch as well, which is cool. But yeah, I thought this was really interesting. In this is kind of grouped into the whole. They made like a blog post about directed to the regulators as well about changes that they're making to their store and how they're handling that, adapting to sort of current sort of environment. But yeah, this is clearly to save face with the regulators to kind of show them like, hey, like look at us, like we're not the bad guys here. We're not going to take away Call of Duty from PlayStation. This is to me this is a move. Like they are desperate to get this approved by the FTC and the DOJ. So much so that they're coming out this early, to try to like convince them to essentially let this thing go through. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, aside from that, what do you guys think? Is this a surprise for you guys that seemingly Call of Duty isn't going anywhere? Because I know a lot of people are. I was gonna say surprisingly, but then again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But a lot of people are really upset about this. They're declaring that this is the end of Xbox, that they're done with the platform, that this is a tragedy, all of these things, that's like the goddamn apocalypse,
I'm so disappointed in Microsoft.
yeah, things like that, man.
You got people like you got PlayStation people celebrating, like, oh, good, it's gonna be every, more places, more people will be able to play, and then you have people commenting on that. I thought you were a PlayStation fan. I'm unfollowing. How dare you betray us? I thought, no, Xbox
Twitter
shouldn't
was
have
very
completely.
entertaining that day. It was
Yeah,
very
no,
entertaining.
Twitter is the tribes have risen.
It was really funny. I gotta admit, I saw a lot of people that were making that. Those clips were on Twitter, man. People were like, "Why would you make $70 billion purchase to put it everywhere?" And guess what's happening? It's going everywhere because they made a $70 billion purchase.
Yeah,
Like honestly, you can make the argument either way, but it just makes sense to make
it makes way
games
more
like Call
sense.
of Duty. Yeah, it makes sense to make games like Call of Duty multi-platform forever.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't make sense to keep it exclusive. Like why would you want to have the exclusive card in your belt when you can be making so much more money? That's why Sony's putting their stuff on PC.
and again, like this is not just like regulators like saving face, to them, but like it's a PR disaster to kind of be labeled as the bad guys. Like I think it's, in my opinion, and I don't know, I may get shit for this, but in my opinion, I think it's pretty heinous to rip a franchise as huge as Call of Duty away from an entire ecosystem. To say, this franchise that you have come to expect to be on your platform each and every single year is now no longer on that platform. You're no longer allowed to play this on the platform that you've been playing it for over a decade or however long Call of Duty has been on PlayStation, right? So like, yeah, in my opinion, it's better to not be seen as the bad guys that takes something away from a large group of people. You know, they can now be seen as, I don't know if they'll be seen as the good guys, but it's definitely better than the alternative. Not even to mention the amount of money that they will make from this move alone. This is like another Minecraft for them, or what PlayStation is going to do with Destiny, right? The amount of money that you're going to be able to rake in from this, in my opinion, far outweighs the petty console war thing to do, which is to make it exclusive. There's that, and then of course there's the argument of Game Pass, that it's way more attractive to get Call of Duty on Game Pass versus paying $70 on PlayStation or Nintendo or PC even. I don't know if that really moves the
Yep. No.
needle, if like now PlayStation gamers will flock to Game Pass specifically for that, but that's still a selling point.
Yeah, that was my point when Xbox actually made the purchase for Bethesda. Where obviously that had more of an inclination to be exclusive, which was more in my head, like that made more sense to things to be exclusive. But even if they didn't, your argument would be the same thing for MLB The Show. You can either get a Game Pass for quote unquote free, right? You just have to pay the subscription for that month,
Yeah.
or you can pay $70 on the other platform. To me, that's like a you can't go against that argument. You're
It's
gonna
like a
go with the free
win-win for
one.
them.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know. That always made sense for me as far as like the whole exclusive, making things not exclusive thing, where you're just like on the other platform you can get this for free, but on this platform you have to pay for it. Like, obviously, you're gonna go one way or the other. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, Walt, do you have any thoughts on this?
Man, the more players, the better. And that statement is even more true when we're talking about, to Macho's point a few podcasts before, the premium first-person shooter arcade experience that annually people get their hands on, no matter what, if it's bad PR, good PR, good reviews, bad reviews. Some sell more than others, but it's gonna sell. And I think this makes more sense if in the long run, for some reason, we get switching and we get, some titles are exclusive, or maybe there's a spin-off that's, if they do a Vanguard situation where they have their big Goliath Warzone and then they do a Vanguard, but then next year they do a Black Ops 5. I don't know. They're doing one of them. It's going to be only on Game Pass, only here. I don't know how long we're going to be alive to see these changes happen, if it'll even happen. But for now, this makes the most sense. Uh, People complaining are console warriors that truly
That
don't.
are still stuck in the console war mentality. Like I don't know how much more clear it needs to be that we like all the platforms have moved beyond that
Hmm.
point. This is like in
Companies don't
my
even pay attention to that.
in
They
my
don't.
mind, like the Activision deal wasn't it wasn't done just because Microsoft wants to make exclusive deal or make these games. This thing goes beyond, way beyond just the console itself, just selling more consoles than Sony or Nintendo. Like this is so far beyond that. Like this is far future thinking shit. And yeah, it's just so weird to still be in that mentality, right? When clearly these
Hmm.
companies have moved far beyond just thinking that selling consoles is the main bread and butter of their business now. Like I don't know, it's just gotten far beyond that.
And
I think it's a lot. Just sorry, Walt, but I think
no,
it's
no, you
just a
good.
lot of people are stuck on what Sony is doing, right? And they're still doing the exclusive deals. They're still doing the third party stuff, exclusives, and of course having like big characters being locked behind their gates. Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But of course that's being done by Insomniac, so that makes sense because that's a first party studio. But besides the point, they're looking at what their opponents do, and they're like, "We want you to do the same," and like that's not what Microsoft's doing, man. I saw even people on Twitter, like big fanboys or small fanboys or people who are just notable in podcasts. They said themselves, Xbox is not the console;
Yeah.
it's the platform right now,
Yeah.
and that platform is Game Pass. So that's going to go wherever it's going to go, and the stuff that's in that is not going to be tied just to Xbox.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you have people in very uh, highly regarded podcasts. You have Last Stand where Colin, he goes to say how this can be, the verbiage is very much there. It'll be where Game Pass is, and who's to say they don't find a way of implementing that in, let's say PlayStation, or a Nintendo, or
Well, the thing is, I think that what Nintendo's way more susceptible to a Game Pass,
hmm.
but for PlayStation, I think what kind of turned the tables a little bit for them
Right.
is Spartacus and
Hmm.
then the Bungie purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. This
because
this these last
because
2 weeks
Destiny
shows.
because Destiny and Bungie their seats are going to be their drivers and the you know and the entire
Yes.
thing here.
Absolutely. And it's funny because you see these shifts, right? And you see these different companies making these different moves, and you'll still have people say, "Oh, see, they heard us." No, hindsight bias is always there, man. They didn't hear you. They're just making the right decisions based on what's smarter financially, what's smarter in the long run. They're not reading your Twitter comment and saying, "Oh, this guy with the anime PFP said uh, that we should buy this company. Let's buy them." No, they're trying to they're forecasting. They have meetings. They have actual people with experience, with degrees, analyzing and trying to figure out, okay, what's the right move. And granted, that's not always known. You will know if what they do works or not. Money talks. They'll go where their money is.
But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm glad that they came out and clarified it.
Yeah.
Cause hopefully this kills off the conversation in general. Please let this be the last time we hear about this. For this year, it definitely won't be. But
No,
I
definitely not. You already got people saying like, "Well, he said it this way.
exactly.
And to me, this indicates this." I'm just like, y'all don't have really good reading comprehension, man.
Like
It's like,
like
It's English,
obviously
man.
obviously there's still going to be some titles that are going to be exclusive, right? Like I'd
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
that new Blizzard IP is probably going to be exclusive, but
Hmm.
and we'll, only time will tell which ones will be and which ones won't be. But in terms of Call of Duty, like I feel like we got a pretty definitive answer. So if people are still trying to like convince themselves that that's not the case, then I don't know what else Microsoft can do until, I don't know, 5 years from now, Call of Duty is still on PlayStation. That will be when, they're finally convinced that Call of Duty is gonna remain multi-platform until the end of time. Um,
Yeah, I
but
mean, my opinion is mostly like if they're going to, at least in my opinion, keep exclusive the things and the part it's in the parts in where they lack, and where they lack is in single player. So that's what's gonna be exclusive, and everything multiplayer is just fair game. And I think that's where we're gonna get like cross play and like all that kind of thing. So
yeah,
I mean, that makes sense to me. But again, we'll see what happens. Things change every day.
yeah.
How dare you, Macho? How dare you betray the brand? Wow.
But yeah, very,
I'm
very,
sorry.
very interesting. So yeah, like I said, in due time we'll get even more clarity with that. But yeah, that's that for Activision. Let's we can, I don't know how big of a conversation this will turn into, but probably doesn't have to be too long. But let's give a little shout out to Horizon. Macho, we got a little sales update on it, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did, man. For a new IP, it hit up 20 million units sold.
Yeah.
Herman Hulse actually announced this on Twitter, and which is a nice kind of what's the term I'm thinking of? It's a nice kind of rounding circle. What's the term? So come on, you're the writer, you know this.
Full circle.
There you go. Thank you. It came full circle because Horizon was Herman's baby, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was a creative director on the first one, so it's kind of crazy that Horizon Zero Dawn, or at least Aloy, is a mascot for PlayStation, like
Yeah.
official. Like she
It's
is PlayStation.
it's so cool, man. It really hit me when God, I don't know if you guys ever saw those, I think it came out last year, but like PlayStation had like some weird like soccer partnership, I think with like UEFA or something like that. And so like they had they had this trailer of like, I don't know, like actual soccer players like running out onto a field, and then like Kratos was running out there, and Nathan Drake and Ratchet and Clank, and then Aloy was out there too. But yeah, like in terms of like, I feel like the characters that are like the PlayStation mascots that represent the brand, like Aloy is absolutely included in that, and I think that's pretty damn cool to see. That they are like that behind her and they view her as that. Like you guys remember the other weird live action trailer that they had that they played in the PlayStation Showcase in September. And they had like the all these Easter eggs
Around the city.
to various games, right? They had like an Uncharted and Lost Legacy poster. They had the God of War Ragnarok poster before the game was even announced in that. There's a little tease to Resident Evil 4 remake in that as well. They had a Sly Cooper logo in that trailer as well, but also the giant Aloy statue at the end of that trailer, right? So yeah, it's just really cool to see that she has sort of like been elevated to this position where, yeah, she is absolutely seen as one of the faces of PlayStation. So
Yeah, no, it's super cool. I think it's about damn time, man. It's about damn time because as much as the name Aloy kind of irked me when I first heard it, I just kind of I love the character, and I think like her place in that world and just the way the story unfolds in Horizon Zero Dawn is just so awesome and it's super cool. It's super interesting. That when I saw the cinematic trailer yesterday for Forbidden West, I got chills, man.
yeah,
That trailer is magnificent. If you guys haven't seen it.
yeah,
Nah. I mean, Ayla's whatever. Nah, I'm kidding. Nah, she's really awesome. It, it's impressive how the new IP and such a. I think it was quite controversial, at least around the circle, how it was received. Horizon wasn't necessarily received with open arms from the get go. There was
what?
a lot of people. No, I think in my circle, a lot of people back in the day, back then, I was still in Puerto Rico, and in Puerto Rico, you didn't really have a lot of people like taking a liking to the new IP, and they weren't really into it. But
It's
through
really
time,
let's be fair, man. A lot of times too is because of the fact that people didn't want to play as a woman,
yeah,
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 which
a
is
lot of
super
it, yeah,
shitty to like even say and like think
it's
about. But like,
unfortunate.
that's a lot of a lot of people thought like that, and then at the same time they'll go and play Tomb Raider. Doesn't
Yeah,
make
it's
any
the same,
sense.
same people that complained that Abby was buff.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's cool. And also, you know what game didn't get this treatment? Didn't get this little announcement that it hit, a
Oh boy.
milestone?
Uh oh.
Can you guys guess what game I was talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we got all these announcements of like God of War recently hitting 19.5 million copies, or Spider-Man. The NPD said that it's like what the third biggest PlayStation Studios game in terms of revenue since 1995, right?
Yeah.
Uncharted 4, we got a sales update. I think in 2019 that said it hit like 16 million copies sold, right? Ghost of Tsushima sold over 8 million. We got that announced at CES, right?
What are you
All
trying to
these,
say, Soul?
all these various, sales updates of these PlayStation Studios titles. But there's one specific. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's one specific PlayStation Studios title that just had never gotten a sales update like this. No
Yeah, man,
tweet
I don't know.
from Herman Holst. Nothing
Yikes.
from
Oof.
at a blog post. Nothing like that. I wonder which one. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about?
I don't know, man.
No.
It's gone. I don't know.
Yeah, the thought from my I thought it's gone from my mind, and I
Yeah,
probably
it's
thought
really
about it days
gone.
ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. I think it kind of rhymes with Lay's Lay's John. But no, I
Late
just
John.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I don't know. I just think it's fascinating that Days Gone never really got an update like this.
Never.
So
Wild, wild stuff. I know.
It's
yeah.
like they're trying to sweep it under the rug. Like, no, it didn't sell.
It's almost
It didn't
it's
sell.
almost like the whole thing about it selling 8 million copies was, I don't know, like a lie maybe, or not true.
Question mark?
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. That's just me. That's just
Oh
me. But
man,
yeah.
he just calls me a liar.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
man. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
very strong.
congratulations to Horizon. It's awesome to see that game did as well as it did.
Sir.
Yeah, I think Forbidden West has the chance to do even better, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
So,
so excited for that.
What if
Like,
what if it guys, what if it flops?
there's
no,
there's no way in hell it's going
yeah,
to flop.
Ain't no way. Ain't
Yeah,
no way.
yeah. No,
especially it being
I really don't think so.
on
Either.
two platforms. Yeah, come on.
Come on now.
Yeah,
I'm like Jaffe, come on now.
I think it's absolutely gonna surpass the first game because it's like with Elden Ring, they're taking everything they learned from their previous experiences and putting it into this one, and they know what makes it special, and they're gonna hone in on that for Forbidden West, and I can't wait to see that in spades, man. It's gonna be so cool.
Sir.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, that is Forbidden West, and then also I guess we can kind of I guess pretty much wrap on this is that so obviously we know that the game their review embargo is on the 14th on Valentine's Day. And then obviously the game comes out that Friday. In the past, whenever Sony has a review embargo, usually like this far out, it's a safe assumption that they're pretty damn confident in the game, right? Usually when review embargoes are like literally like the day of or like the day before, then it's like them trying to like kind of hide the quality of the game, or something
Like
along those.
Crossfire X. Oh wait,
Oh
never mind.
man, I don't even think there's like
Uh,
a review for that game, right?
Nope.
Um,
Oh wait, no, yeah, no, no.
but man, Macho, you didn't have to fake having to think about it. But no, with Horizon, they're spacing out. It's obvious they feel confident if they're having the review embargo that far out from the release. So my question is to you guys, the embargo lifting on Monday. What is everyone's Metacritic prediction for Forbidden West?
I'm gonna go with 92.
I was gonna say 89.
Yeah, see, I'm first of all, I gotta shout this out because I see people, were quote tweeting, Metacritic, they tweeted out, when the embargo lifts, and we're asking people, what's everyone's predictions, for Forbidden West, and people were quote tweeting some obscene shit, man. They were like, 97, I'm like, I'm like,
Whoa.
I'm like, come on, I appreciate the optimism here, but come on, guys.
Come on now.
Um, but I lean towards Walt here because I think the first game got an 89, which I adore. Zero Dawn, it's probably like top three, top four, in the PlayStation Studios pantheon for me personally. But man, you look at Spider-Man that got an 87. You look at Ghost of Tsushima that got an 83. Like if Zero Dawn was reviewed today, I feel like that game would probably be along the lines of like an 86 or like an 87. So just me believing that, I feel like Forbidden West is gonna fall along the lines of like what Zero Dawn got rated back then. Like I think it's gonna be at that 87, 89 range. Cause like
Yeah.
the 90s, man, the 90s are like, it's reserved for like the creme de la creme, you know what I mean? I don't know if Forbidden
Hmm.
West is gonna be like that. Um, but I don't know. Then again, everything that we've been seeing from this game, it has been addressing all of our concerns that we had about the first game, right? The combat, exploration, my concerns with like character interactions and things of that nature. So who knows? Maybe it could crack a 90. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it hits like, like an 87 or 88, which is still a pretty damn good score to get.
Hell yeah, especially for an
Yeah.
open world game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really gonna come down to the gameplay flow of it. So how good it feels to be rewarded with things when you loot things from the mechs, the side quests, right? The story, all that top notch quality that we're kind of expecting from it. We're not expecting to obviously have like the best writing in the world, but at least having something that's meaningful for us that we didn't really get in the first game, or at least that much of.
And also like why I say that Zero Dawn would be reviewed lower today than it did back then is because like you look at some of the biggest critiques against Tsushima and why it was like an 83 was that felt really Ubisoft, with its open world structure, right? Like that was one of the biggest knocks against that game, that it felt like a game made in like, I don't know, like 2014 or 2015. And I kind of feel like Zero Dawn, like it didn't really get knocked. I mean, obviously, people around the community have brought up that criticism, but like the reviews back then definitely didn't. So I feel like if Forbidden West, if it didn't learn from those trappings that it had back in 2017, of it being a little bit too much Ubisoft with its open world, then I feel like Forbidden West could definitely like it. I feel like it was like people let that slide with the first game, but if they come back and do that again with Forbidden West, then I can see that being a real major knock against it. So I hope, in the 5 years, that it's separated itself from Zero Dawn, it's learned from that and has kind of reeled back some of that Ubisoft shit.
Yeah, I still feel like it's gonna get knocked some points, or at least not knock points, but like at least it's gonna get lesser of a positive reception, because it's not really experimenting with open world mechanics. If it's not, I'm not sure if it is, but I can see it, it getting kind of like a critique on that. Since it's more story focused and stuff like that, rather than some like at the time where it was coming out, Breath of the Wild, but I was kind of
And that was before
kickstarting.
that was before Breath of the
Kickstarting
Wild
that
came
world.
out too, right? So now I feel like open world games are like held to a higher standard because of that.
And I think Elden Ring is kind of the one that people are looking to push that standard further, not
Yeah.
really Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah. We haven't touched on, the underwater stuff. That may be, to what you're saying, Macho, that may be a thing where they possibly could, do something
you're right,
new
yeah.
and fascinating there in that aspect, right?
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe, maybe they take underwater, exploration into a direction that really pushes, I don't know, just exploration in general further. So that could definitely be something that is looked on favorably. But yeah, man, Breath of the Wild is interesting because Zero Dawn came out in a time before, like just before Breath of the Wild. So like, maybe those criticisms that we have now of Zero Dawn, weren't exactly as noticeable because it came out before Breath of the Wild. But now, I feel like those criticisms are definitely going to have a brighter light shined on them now that it's coming out in a world that it's post Breath of the Wild. But it's gonna be interesting nonetheless to see what that game does. So Macho, you're staying with your 92, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we should. I don't know what bet we can do, but it would be fun to do a bet. But
Yeah.
all right, so we won't
You
bet
sure about
any
that?
we won't bet anything, but just for fun. So Macho says 92. Walt, what is like your exact number? What do you say?
My exact number,
Yeah,
88.
88. I feel like that's a really good one. Um,
Come on, boy.
okay. I know I said like 87 or like in that range, but you know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 91. I'm gonna say 91.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Despite everything that I just said, I think I don't know. I trust Gorilla. I think Gorilla is really going to. Everyone keeps bringing up Uncharted 2, that jump from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, and I don't know. I think they're gonna learn. People were pretty adamant about their criticism with the first game. At least the community was, and I think this team is really going to take all of that to heart and improve. I mean, again, we brought up the combat, right? That was one of the biggest complaints everyone had, and they absolutely improved that, right? So things like that, and then obviously the sort of problems I had with side characters and things like that. It seems like they improved. So yeah, I purely based off of that and the gameplay, I'm gonna go with a 91. So
Yeah, no, that's why I'm confident because I think the sequel comeback is like it's a thing, man. Spider-Man 2, I mean the movie, Slide 2, God of War 2.
I mean, Killzone 2, even Killzone 2 is without a doubt the best in that
Yeah,
franchise.
you said it already. Uncharted 2, like
Infamous 2.
it's. Oh my God, yeah,
So, Last of Us 2.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
exactly,
sir.
exactly. So I really think this one's gonna. I think it's really gonna take us by surprise at how good it is, but
Yeah. I trust
we'll
Gorilla.
see.
I just don't trust the critics.
I trust the critics.
yeah, no, I don't.
Why?
Because there's gonna be that one a-hole that's like, it feels just like the first game. Everything kind of looks the same too. Like there's gonna
grapple.
be, yeah, there's gonna be that one that's gonna be like, it's not that great, or not that great. It's not good. It's not a good game. It's like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. There's gonna be that one.
Yeah.
So
Well, fuck them.
Wherever they're from.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully not.
But no, it's fine. I mean, there's obviously people like ACG and like Skill Up and guys like that But even so, like I'm still gonna be Easy Allies. I'm definitely gonna be checking out their review and IGN as well. So
same for me with ACG. Just like, yeah, I mean, I love his series that he does from time to time, which is called I think Walking the Walk, where he basically just takes a game and analyzes the entire open world, the AI, everything around it. He did it for Assassin's Creed Origins. He did it for Horizon Zero Dawn. I think he just did it for Dying Light too, actually. And his analysis is just amazing. So I can't wait to actually see. If he does one for Forbidden West, I'm going to be all over that. Because I'm sure that Guerrilla really stepped their game up in terms of a livable, breathable open world. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, Mahmoud said 87. So we got him in. We got him in this. We got him in here.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair too. I can see all those scores. Honestly, I'm more on definitely the hype train for it. So that's why I said 32.
That's fair. But yeah, we shall see. I'm really let's get a hype check, man. You guys, how are you guys right now? 1 week away.
Oh, dude, I'm super pumped because I actually got that day off.
Nice.
and I'm just really excited, man. Like it's. I was thinking when I saw the trailer yesterday, and I was just getting chills just hearing Aloy narrate the entire trailer from her teachings of Rost, and really just to take on this next level situations he's going on at Forbidden West. I'm still kind of blacked out on it because I'm trying. That's intentional, and I just really can't wait to see like what they actually do with the machines like that. To me, that's what I'm really hyped about, the machines and like how we're gonna break those down, man.
That's something I actually I'm so glad that you brought that up because I've been meaning to ask you guys this. Are you guys really as what's the word? Are you guys really as sort of like worried or like about this whole thing about being able to ride machines or fly or to have flying machines or flying mounts because people are getting like I don't know, like this is gonna make or break the experience for them. I'm like, guys, it's not that serious, right? And I feel like people are just setting themselves up for disappointment when you play the game and you're not going to be able to ride these things when they have not said that you're able to ride these things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like people are like the reaction to like, I don't know, it just really feels like people are making this out to be like it's going to either make or break the game for them.
I think that's a little drastic, but I don't know, man. That cinematic trailer had a lot of nods to Aloy's gonna be flying. They had a lot of nods to it, bro.
What was the nod? That one bird landed behind her. People ran with it.
No, when it's a shot before that where it's a transition where the bird swoops in and then I swear to God, dude. And she jumps backwards as if she was gonna jump on it, and then she lands on her feet, and then the bird comes in behind her, and it's what that last shot is like over like a cliff, right? So she's looking over something. I need to look at the trailer again, but
I think go ahead.
It seemed like that was it, and again. The freaking cover has a pterodactyl.
Now you're reading too much into it, man. Come on.
Nah, come on. First of all, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I always read too much into shit. But second of all, if I'm right, I'm gonna rub this in your face, bro.
So you tell me that the Thunderjaw in the cover of the original Zero Dawn was alluding to you being able to like ride that machine. Like,
Nah, that was to take. Nah, I don't.
come on now.
That's a little ambitious. No, that's why I didn't think anything of it in the cover. But the thing is, when I saw the cinematic trailer, I was like, oh, that's like they did 2 nods of you might be flying in this thing.
Nah.
If they don't, I don't really care. You know, that's neither here or there. But the fact that they did that, and I was like, ooh, they didn't actually. Okay, hold on. Now this is interesting. So I don't know. I might be looking out for it when I play the game, but I'm not gonna. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's whatever.
Nah, people are.
I'm more interested in the underwater stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. I think people are reading way too much into it. Like people are like, oh, she jumped backwards. I'm like, come on, guys.
Hey, man, that was a transition. I swear, if I'm right on this, you're gonna have to go back to your story and do some revisions and things. You're foreshadowing.
Listen, I will happily take the L on that if it's true.
Right? Yeah.
But look, they've not promised, they've not said anything, they've not promised anything. I think this is another case of people just, creating things and running with it. But
Tinfoil hats.
Walt, what about you?
It's a little extreme.
How do you feel about this?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I honestly didn't give much thought to it. I was like, oh, cool, flying enemies. Yeah. Like, I didn't really. If I can mount a flying enemy, verticality has to be a thing. Then don't just make me like ride it. Give me some incentive to it. But now, if I see you like mounting a flying machine, I don't see it as like a typical traversal. It's more so like there's a purpose. Like it'll be scripted or something. If they have it or not, it's not a make it or break it for me. It's a huge plus. That's a huge step up from the first one where the only mount you had was only one, and it was very basic, just traversing through the ground, through the jungle, whatever. I haven't really given much thought to it. It's not something I'm looking heavy forward to, but if they have it, awesome. If they don't, I'm still gonna enjoy the heck out of that game.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it as well.
Macho's heavy, like, hey man, that pterodactyl.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I didn't look at the Kirby trailer and saw the car and say, hey, yo, I got an idea. Like maybe the company has some other ideas.
I mean, like that's why I didn't think anything of it when I saw the cover. I was just like, all right, cool. That's a badass photo. And then the trailer, and I was like, because there's always like hints of it, like from what they're saying before, like we wanted to include flying, but we couldn't, and they didn't really say yes or no to whether it's going to be in the sequel. So,
but they said that in like 2017. This is what I'm saying, man.
For what, like flying not being in the game?
Yeah. They said that like years ago.
Wait, in 2?
No, in one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, then there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I always thought that they'll include that in the sequel. That's why.
But they specifically said that essentially the hardware that the PS4, like they couldn't do it on that hardware, right? And Forbidden West still being made for the PlayStation 4 would lead me to believe that it's still not going to be possible on this.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, for sure. Yeah, so I was like, okay, flying's a no go, but
yeah,
again,
but I mean, who knows? Maybe they figured something out, but at the same time, I'm not holding my breath for it. I'm also just like, not that I'm not excited for the idea, but it's just like, okay, cool. It's the same thing with like riding the regular mounts. Like I used it like, I don't know, maybe like 4 times the entirety of Zero Dawn. Like I don't know, like it's just not like, it's not the most exciting thing to me. But I know that's probably just me. But
yeah, if they make it exciting, then props to them. If not, then there's a lot more to look forward to.
Yeah, like I like I don't want it to be like goddamn like Ace Combat or some shit like that against other people riding pterodactyls or something. Like I don't know.
Service flying.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the live service games coming out, man. Who knows? But yeah,
one thing that could be exciting, so that Jack and Daxter screen adaptation.
I have no opinion on this, man. Yeah, I honestly don't. Wait, they said live action, right?
I think it's just
But it is
no. I think it's
a
just something in the works.
screen. Yeah,
Okay.
they're screenwriting. I think they're just like planning it out. They're talking about it, but nothing's
Yeah,
like
they're
set in stone.
trying to see like how they can do it and stuff like that. But if it was live adaptation, it would be god awful.
Yeah, oof. Oh man. Especially
And
with
Tom Holland as Jack.
yeah, man. And especially
Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
with how this Uncharted movie is looking so far, then oh man, I don't feel too comfortable.
We're in the wrong timeline.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
because you know you know if they were to like make like a Jack and Daxter, even like an animated style on Netflix or something, it would be so dumbed down.
It's just
Yeah.
such a weird pick to me. Like obviously, I think more Jack and Daxter or anything would be cool, but like that story is just so like I feel like it just doesn't lend itself to like a TV adaptation or a movie even or whatever, like who honestly aside from like hardcore fans would want to see that. Like I don't know, like again, I just don't think that story really lends itself to like anything really.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's
Furries?
more of my bias, but I think Sly Cooper is way more interesting for a show
Sure, but then do you
because you
remember
have like different locations and everything. So
yeah, but do you remember the TV animated series that they're gonna do, the footage they released of that?
no, I don't remember. I erased that from my mind, so I don't remember that
Exactly.
at all.
I know this is like a new regime, and this is PlayStation Productions now, but yeah, I don't know. I
No, I
can't I
hear you.
can't I can't get over the fact that if Sly would look uncanny as hell. He would look jarring in a TV series.
Yeah,
Um,
that all that real fur, right?
yep,
Man, y'all wild.
yeah,
Rosita,
but yeah, I don't know. It's
y'all are furries,
I don't
right?
what
Y'all are
What?
like Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Dexter, Sly Cooper. Y'all are just
Jack.
furries. I don't know.
What are you talking about, Jack? Jack's not a furry man. What's going on?
I don't know,
You
man.
need to
There's a
get your
furry in
eyes
there.
checked, man.
For
We need to
real,
get
he's
you
an
a
elf, man. He's an elf. All
yeah.
right,
Man,
relax.
but what's the companion?
He's a human who got turned into
But not anymore.
a Notzel, man. What's going on?
Well, now he's a furry.
Anyway, and he wore pants and he got a girlfriend in those games, man.
Oh wow,
So come
things are
on, man.
looking up for him.
Yeah, man. But anyway, that's that. I don't really have much to say about that. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for the podcast.
One last thing, so one last thing. Since
Man,
that one was
I
a
don't wanna talk about Jack and Daxter anymore,
no,
man.
no, 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 no. Get your mind out of there, man. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, no, no. It's just a quick shout out to a little teaser or first look we got this week, huh, Macho? To a very anticipated sequel to a Telltale classic.
The wolf is back, baby. The wolf is back. Have you guys actually played The Wolf Among Us?
No,
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
have not played The
sir.
Wolf Among. Wait, so do you actually play Telltale games?
no.
No.
Whoa.
I know it's not Telltale, but I played Life is Strange 1, and that's really like the only game
Like story heavy,
of that kind that I played.
decision based. Yeah.
Oh man, you have to dive into Walking Dead and
Oof.
Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands. Like these games are awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Those are
If I'm
those are
being
three
honest,
no's
so
in a row.
no, you
Oh my,
being
shaking my head. Oh my god.
story driven narrative, just you look for these stories. I really think that most likely Walking Dead would really click with you. I don't know.
Yeah, but
No, it
I know
would.
what
Yeah.
happens. I watched playthroughs of that back in like
Oh, you
2012.
watched? Did you like it?
Uh, I barely remember it, but I do remember the ending.
Yeah, see,
And
then
yeah,
you have
the
to
ending
play
was cool. The ending was cool.
it. Yeah, we got 4 seasons of them, and there's a new collection where they made the first and second season look like the third and fourth, which looks phenomenal. Now the graphics are beautiful.
Yeah.
But dude, Wolf Among Us, I think Wolf Among Us might be my number one or two because it's either that or Walking Dead out of all the Telltale titles.
Yeah, same.
I'd say Borderlands is like the most fun. because there's a Borderlands and there's a lot of
It's
wacky stuff going on.
it's dumb hilarious. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
it's actually genuinely funny.
absolutely. The only
Is
one I think
it
I haven't played.
or is it Borderlands funny?
No, it's actually
No.
it's way more funny than Borderlands.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Borderlands
actually more
tries to be
meticulously.
funny. Borderlands tries to
Exactly.
be funny. This is actually like genuinely funny. Like they actually have some really good jokes in there, and
Like
throughout all 5 episodes.
they sat around a table and like came up with like
Man,
dialogue
I don't know. I don't
intertwined
know
with
if I
like
can take you guys' word for it. This is coming from the guy who cries at Goofy Goofy getting who wears Kingdom Hearts pajamas and
Listen, I mean, I had to break you guys over the cold on this one. Because when I say this is like actually really funny, like dude, like I just played it last year with my fiance, and then we were both like laughing hysterically at the stuff that's going on. So like, take take my word for what you will when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts stuff, right? I'll always fanboy, but I'll always be critique about it. I'll still give my criticism on that series, no matter how much I love it. But when it comes to something like Telltale, man, they hit the nail on the head for these stories. Like I'm really surprised you have not gone into them because they're really good stories. Especially The Wolf Among Us, where it's like this twisted take on fairy tales, where you have Beauty and the
yeah.
Beast that are a married couple, but they also have marriage problems, and then you have what was it, Snow White? She's like the mayor or something like that, or what was it?
She works for City Hall, and the second one she becomes mayor, and now she's like there's more twists and turns to like their dynamic and methods of madness of how to attack crime. Essentially, the Wolf Among Us is a prequel to the comics Fables, which essentially is all these fairy tales, all these characters are all on. I think it's like a New York version, or is it? It is New York. It's like a mix between uh, humans, normal people, what they call Mundies or something, and then you have the actual fairy tale characters, and it's a very twisted take on it. Bigby Wolf, which is the big bad wolf from the story, he's the protagonist. In the prequel and the comics, Snow White is the female lead of the show and of the comics and the video games. You only play as Bigby though, and it's funny because Bigby, as an assistant or as a friend or best friend in the first one, is one of the three pigs, right?
Yeah.
It's a really cool take on that whole premise of fairy tales and how they intertwine. And yeah, Beauty and the Beast are there, and Beast is like insecure and he like doesn't understand Beauty. There's so much going on. I love it. It's one of my most favorite ones. There's 5 episodes on that. There's Bloody Mary in it. The character Bloody Mary from the urban
Yeah,
legends.
like that urban legend, like look at Bloody Mary and say her name 3 times in the mirror. Like she actually has a really cool premise in this series. So I'm looking forward to see what they do because in Wolf Among Us 2, the trailer, they actually hinted at the Wizard of Oz.
That's
Yeah,
funny. That's
yeah,
funny
Tin
that
Man.
that's funny that you just mentioned her because I was just like reading up some shit about her. I finished the Tudors like 2 nights ago, where she was like an actual queen. So yeah, it's funny that you guys just mentioned Bloody Mary because like I was literally just like watching an episode about her. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
she puts the freaking fear in you in Wolf Among Us, man.
yeah,
Like she lives up to her myth, which is like it's kind of insane.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's a great show. A great friend. It's almost like a show. I treat it like a TV show because it's just so enthralling. It has so many, and there's actual repercussions to a lot of your decisions. A lot of people meme on the Walking Dead series because a lot of the decisions, either way, you end up with like similar outcomes at the end. But there's some real heavy hitters in it. The story is so it's insane. It's intense. I cried a lot.
but all right. So that's gonna do it for the podcast, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming through. Whether you guys came live or you were here after the fact, we always
Pause.
appreciate it. I'm just gonna ignore that. So yeah, we're gonna get started with these outros. Macho, why don't you kick things off for us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's gonna be a lot more Sifu and God, just finishing up some 13 Sentinels and Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky before Horizon Forbidden West next week.
Weeb.
Yeah, I'm gonna go full weave this whole week now. And see if I get the Platinum Sifu on PS4. I'm gonna see if I dedicate more to actually finishing the games and anything. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun weekend. It's gonna be a long week, that's for sure. And share out the podcast. Let your friends know about it. Share to your family, friends. Do all that jazz. Let's try to get to 80 subscribers, man. I think we're still at 79 right now. So I want to see if we can hit that goal before the end of the month.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
No, I think that Kirby mouthful mode thumbnail is gonna reel in some subscribers, man.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah,
Oh, I see the process now.
yeah.
Okay,
You don't gotta worry about it, man. Um, yeah. So, Walt, man, what about you? What's going on?
Well, yeah, man. Gonna be asking all week. I gotta talk with Kirby. What that mouth do?
Oh
I'll
man.
be playing some more Sifu. I'm gonna try and get through the main story without paying attention to any completion, because if not, I'll go crazy. Uh, then I'm gonna go forward for that platinum. Playing more RCS. Man, cannot stop playing it, y'all. I'm kind of addicted. RCS. I'm really loving that Pokemon game, man. Same, echoing the same what I said last podcast. I'm loving the heck out of that game. Uh, Aside from that, I might be picking up a certain game that came out I think yesterday or the day before during the direct. It's called Getsu Fumaden, and it's a side scroller Japanese ukiyo-e art esque game. I think the premise is also like you die a lot, but you come back stronger. You come back with like different abilities and whatnot. It's a beautiful game. If y'all haven't checked that out, Macho, I definitely recommend you checking it out. I'll text you the name.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
other than that, man, Sifu, Arceus, and making way through maybe some small games to clear the backlog, so I feel better when I tackle Forbidden West.
Nice. Yeah. As for me, definitely more Dying Light 2. Um, just until Forbidden West comes out, and then I'll probably put it down. But man, I feel like I've already like I don't have to. I'm not worried about like rushing through Dying Light 2, in order to make time for Forbidden West because I'm just having a blast, just like leisurely going through this. So obviously when Forbidden West comes out, that will be my focus. But yeah, I'm having a blast with Dying Light 2. Um, Aside from that, not too much. I started editing my book. When did I do that? I think maybe like a couple
Ooh.
days ago. So yeah, finally started doing that. It's overwhelming as fuck. So, because I have like, I don't know, goddamn like 500 pages that I need to go through, like literally line by line, and then I've already like start like the first chapter. I basically rewrote that entire thing. So if I,
Oh
Jesus
wow.
Christ.
yeah, because I wrote that in like 2019, where like where I was probably like really really bad. So yeah, I rewrote that entire thing. So yeah, I've probably edited like 26 pages so far. So it's gonna take some time, man. But yeah, we'll get through it.
We'll be
Um,
waiting. The audience and us will be waiting very gladly for that release.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I
Um,
want my autograph book.
yeah, you ain't getting shit, man. uh, um,
He's like, you gotta pay full price for that,
hey man,
bitch.
I gotta make money somehow, man.
Oh man, I'm just gonna subscribe to Amazon for $1. That's all I'm gonna do. The best deal in game. I mean, the best deal in book service.
Oh shit. But yeah. So aside from that, well, I finally finished that book that I was telling you about on the podcast at one time.
Pariah?
The Pariah. Finally finished it. So good. You guys were talking
Nice,
about
man.
Sifu and sort of this idea of like revenge and vengeance and being betrayed and things like that. And I told you that this book had a lot of that, and the confrontation of meeting the person that betrayed the main character at the beginning of the book after years, like like this character was in prison for like 4 years or something. He finally breaks out and he enlists in like the army, and he goes through this entire journey, and towards the end of the book he finally comes face to face with the woman that basically betrayed the entirety of his gang of thieves earlier in the book. And it's just like, it's chef's kiss, man. Like, I was on the edge of my seat during that entire confrontation. It's so good, and I imagine that's probably going to be a similar feeling to whenever the main character in Sifu meets up with, I don't know, the person that, I don't know, betrayed him or something along those lines, right? It's
layered. It's very layered.
Okay. Yeah, it's that moment when, you know, the bride finally meets up with Bill from, you know, from Kill Bill, you know, things like that. But yeah, it's such a fantastic book. So finally finished that. Randomly
nice.
just finished the Tutors as well. Because I watched like I don't know why I do this, man, but I will watch the entirety of a series, and then for whatever reason the last episode I just I leave like the last episode and just never finish it. I guess because I don't want to finish the series. But yeah, I watched like all 4 seasons of the Tutors maybe like 2 years ago, and then for whatever reason I just stopped the last like 30 minutes of the final episode and just never went back to it. I finally watched the entire episode like 2 nights ago, and yeah, chills. Really, really good series. Henry VIII was a horrible person, man. Horrible person. Got to learn about Bloody Mary, who she actually is, and she's tragic as hell. Really, really tragic character. Or just person. So yeah, I finished that. Started watching season 3 of Britannia, which is a really, really trippy show about the Roman Empire invading this, I think like Ireland or something like that. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, aside from that, just you know, continuing some shows that I'm watching, and I'm gonna start reading a new book trilogy as well. And then, you know, starting that, and then obviously Dying Light 2, and waiting for Horizon Forbidden West, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me. But
Very
yeah.
nice. And quick shout out to Last Kingdom season 5 trailer dropping this week.
Yes, I didn't know.
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't know that season 5 was coming out so soon. Like, I was just
Yes,
scrolling
sir.
through. No, okay. So what's funny was that this is actually included in just random shows I was watching this week. But just out of the blue, I was just watching Last Kingdom season 1, like just because, you know, just to have something on in the background. And then like
Right.
as I was like on it on Netflix, I saw that season 5 coming out on March 9th. I was like, what? Like I hadn't
Super
that.
soon.
Yeah, that totally snuck up on me. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
so that's a show worth watching. I haven't watched it. My mom like raves about it, but I haven't gotten to
Oh,
watch it yet.
dude.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And speaking of vengeance, it has a lot of those themes as well. A lot of legacy and destiny, and claiming what's rightfully yours, and it's Norse and Anglo-Saxon warfare. A lot of political intrigue. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, if you like Vikings, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Game of Thrones season 1 through 4.
Yes, I do. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, you could watch it to help get you in the mood for God of War Ragnarok later. I recommend
True.
that.
Yeah, yes. I might start watching that soon though, because I'm looking for a show to watch while being at home for the next month. So
Yeah.
probably do that.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. But yeah, that's sneaking up on us, Walt. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me. And yeah, do you guys have anything else you want to say in regards to this being our 1 year of us doing this podcast?
It's been a pleasure,
Absolutely.
dude. Like I'm not gonna get sappy, but let me get sappy. Yeah, it's man, I've always wanted this. I seriously, ever since I was in maybe middle of college, where I decided to really like turn my life around, I've always wanted. It was really just kind of follow that dream of having, or at least that fun hobby of having like a gaming podcast with some legit gamers that, you know, love to get into the weeds of the games that we play and why we love them and stuff like that. And that's been kind of an aspiration of mine for a while. So the fact that I do have that is that doesn't, trust me, it doesn't fly by me. I'm taking full advantage of it while we're riding this ride, and whatever it leads to, either way, it's gonna be fun, and it's always gonna be like something fun to look back on whenever, how far we get. I'm looking forward to, the next 50 episodes, because we're coming on episode 50, man, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Literally February 25th, if things go according to plan, is our 50th episode. I'm looking forward to another 50. So I couldn't think of two better people to do the podcast with. So
Yeah.
100%.
I share those sentiments. It's also really crazy to me, man, that like sure, we only have 70, we don't even have 100 subs yet, but still just the fact that us starting from zero, and that people are even willing to follow us and watch the podcast in general is still
Listen, yeah.
something that's really cool to me. So yeah, I look forward to continuing to growing this thing out, man, and seeing what it can
Absolutely.
become.
100%. And I think if I take a lot of I was raised religious but not fanatic, but I take a lot of things like as a sign or as the reasons to keep on doing something, and I got an extra oomph when I saw Sean Layden like the celebration, and I was like, I think we're doing something right. I think we're being positive. And that's something that I really emphasize with the podcast, that I'm proud. I can be proud of this. I can go on the street. Someone asks me, oh, so like, do you have any hobbies? And I'm like, oh yeah, I do a podcast with some friends, and they're like genuinely interested. Oh, what's the name? And you see them pull up their phone. Oh yeah, here it is, and they subscribe right there. I'm like, yeah, like I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we were able to we're building something very nice here, and we got people acknowledging that, the people at Log, and we got people from LV1 and all sorts of audiences dropping by. We had that one person that was from like Germany. I mean, there's no boundaries. We're going full out, and I really appreciate. And to Macho's point, no better two co-hosts than y'all both, and just the open-mindedness that this podcast has is insane, and how we can clown on each other and be serious is like the best balance.
Yeah, I
really
agree.
appreciate it.
I agree.
I don't want to say, because Walt brought it up again. Yeah, Sean Layden liked our celebration.
Yeah,
tweet,
I just dropped
man.
it like nothing, but like, yeah, Sean Layden liked the celebration yesterday, and that was pretty crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, I got a couple messages after that being like, yo, Sean Layden really just liked your tweet. I was like, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I know it's something small because, liking the tweet, haha, it's like, 5 seconds of fame, but still, like, it's pretty cool just to even get that kind of, I don't know, notice, I guess, from someone that's so synonymous with PlayStation during its PS4 era.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. But yeah, man, we look forward to keeping this thing going. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna end the podcast. Once again, if you enjoy our content, consider subscribing, man. Well, we definitely got more planned for you guys. So yeah. With that being said, we're gonna get out of here, and we'll catch you guys next week. Next podcast, or next week in general, is Horizon Week, so it's gonna be a very, very fun podcast. We'll obviously be giving out our impressions of Forbidden West, our initial impressions, having about a day with it under our belts. So yeah, it's gonna be great, man. I'm really excited to see what everyone thinks about it. So yeah, man.
don't worry about spoilers too. We won't get into spoilers.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, we will catch you guys next week. Peace.